Hi everybody, Chris Natton here from Powered by Genetics. I'm real excited today to talk about tracking devices, something that people ask me about all the time, and I actually get a lot of criticism about my posts, posting everything about my daily activity. And I really want to clear the air and kind of share with you some of the value that tracking data really offers us, and then how we use that tangibly in our lives, right? So let me give you an example. Would you ever jump into a career, invest into college without ever knowing the income potential in that specific career? Or would you take a job not knowing what the benefits package was? And lastly, would you ever buy a car that didn't come with a gas gauge? Right now, all of these things have to do with metric assessment or market analysis, knowing what the potential is and what framework you want to fit into, and then also being able to track that along the way, right? Like in school, they grade us along the way to see how we're doing and see if we're learning the material. Now, we apply this a lot in our personal lives, specifically to our career. We probably do it less in our relationships, but that's probably the second thing that we look at. And the last thing is our health, right? How many times a year do you actually see a doctor or you get labs drawn? Maybe once, if that, right? So we are obviously setting ourselves at a different level than we are in these other things that have to do with consistent tracking and evaluation of where we are, right? So like if I'm in a specific job that's commission only, or potential to escalate within that company, and it seems not to be happening, right? Like they're hiring external employees to come in and do the work that you've been invested in doing over the last 5 years. If you don't see that happening, maybe it's time to jump ship and shift gears and do something else with another company. Well, the same thing goes with our health. But the key is that we have to track, we have to understand where we are and where we're going. And so today I want to talk about the three main reasons why we track. Okay, the first one is the biggest one of all. And really it has to do with our own mindset and our own ideas of what we think we're doing and what we're getting. Okay, and that number one thing is perception. And our perceptions are off, right? Like, believe it or not, ask your wife, ask your partner, spouse, your friends, your sisters, parents, whatever. Ask them what their perception is of you and how you actually act in a particular situation, right? So, like, for example, if I think I am having a clean diet and a good lifestyle, but in actuality, I breeze over the dessert that I have every day, maybe even twice a day, the lack of sleep that I do, or the inefficient workouts that I do. See, like I tend in my mind, I just see past all of those things because I allow myself to do them. It's kind of an excuse, and it's just in our nature, right? Like, and that's the value of understanding the data and having someone or something there to tell you exactly what's occurring. Okay, so now that's the first example, and this happens regarding our sleep, the food we eat, the exercise we do, the amount of meditation and rest that we're giving ourselves. Those types of things are very important to track because everything in our life gets put together, and actually the outcome is who we are, right? All of those things added together. So I'm going to write on the board, it says perceptions is number one. That's going to take a little bit, if you don't mind bearing with me here. Perception, number one. What's number two? The number two reason, and this is a good segue, is that the data doesn't lie, right? So if you, for instance, are tracking your macronutrients, that is an exact replication of what you ate that day, breaking it out into carbs, fats, proteins. Even furthermore, it will show you the individual vitamins and minerals you're getting, and then the polyunsaturated fats, saturated monos, it breaks it all down for you. You don't have to do it all. And it's right there for you to see. Now, I can easily, if I want to keep my saturated fats on the low end or on the high end, and I think I'm getting this much because I'm having my butter coffee, I'm doing the steak, I'm doing whatever that is. I have this perception and this estimate in my mind of what that number is. Well, I'll tell you for sure that once you start tracking everything, all these foods, the olive oils, the nuts, and the meats, they all have different compositions. So you might think you're getting this high amount or low amount of saturated fats, but when in reality, it's adding up from all of these different food sources and showing you the exact number. And that's the thing with macronutrients. The same thing happens with sleep. We may think we are getting a lot of sleep or less sleep than we are. We think we're rolling around at night wide awake more than we are. But if we track it, we actually find we got more sleep than we thought. Okay, so that's number 2. The data doesn't lie. Data doesn't lie. Now, what's the third thing? Is that tracking gives you a personal coach. Like, that is the best thing ever. It kind of eliminates these perceptions. It cross-checks the data that is accurate, that you can line up with your own specific goals, and it keeps you accountable to them. And that is the most important and valuable thing of all. Okay? So those are the 3. All right, let me write this on the board first. That is accountability. Accountability and your own personal coach. Now that's awesome. Okay? Now stay tuned. Watch my next video. I'm going to talk about the top 3 tools that I use currently.